Okay. So you're going to be graphing today using the X and the Y intercept. So technically, to graph a line, you really only need 2 points. That's it. No, this is just 2 more lessons and that's it. Did you want all of this on the test?
Oh, no.
You're having an open book assignment. Okay. Anyways, so when it comes to linear equations and graphs, you may notice 2 things when looking at the graph. The graph probably always crosses the X and the Y axis. From the last unit, we associated the graph crossing the Y-axis as our B value, so our initial value. It still doesn't change the fact that it's our initial value. However, when the graph crosses the Y-axis, it is known as our Y-intercept now. So if it crosses the Y-axis, it is known as the Y-intercept. And when it crosses the X-axis, it is known as the X-intercept. So we can find these algebraically and graphically. So when we have our X and our Y-intercept, we write it as our X value is always going to be 0, and then whatever number crosses the Y-axis. For my X-intercept, it's whatever number crosses the X-axis, and 0 is my Y. So what's my Y-intercept in this case over here, Kareem?
2.
Yeah, but in a coordinate, it's 0, 2.
Oh, sorry, 0, 2.
Yeah. What's my X-intercept, Sienna? Yep, 4 and 0. Okay. Technically, all you realistically need to do is have those 2 points and you just graph your line. You really don't need the rise over run. Sometimes you can just graph it based off of those 2 things.
Another easy way.
Yep, another easy way. Okay, for the next one, Sean, would you be so kind to tell me what the Y-intercept is for this line over here?
I'm pretty sure it's 0.
Yep.
Yeah, 0 and -2.
Perfect.
Yeah.
My good friend David, what is the X-intercept?
It's 0 and 3.
Flip it.
Oh, 3 and 0.
3 and 0.
Sometimes
3
you
comes
around.
Yep. And that's it. All you need to do is just connect those 2 dots and you get your line. And that's pretty much it. Any questions so far? Is that pretty straightforward?
How many goes to get to it?
Yeah, you can find your slope with it. Your slope would be in this case 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So it'd be 2 over 3.
So my bad, like I forgot how to calculate the G.
Okay. No, that's not the lesson for today. I can show you after.
So that's not gonna go with this.
No. Well, your B over here is already this guy right here. It's a -2. So again, Kareem is saying I can still find my slope, which is 2 over 3. So now when we have it in an equation, we can find it algebraically. So for our X-intercept, what is the Y value of an X-intercept? What is the Y value equal to? 0. So when we find our X-intercept using an equation, we have to set Y equal to 0. And when we want to find our Y-intercepts, we have to set X equal to 0. So basically, all you're doing is wherever you see X, you're going to plug in the number 0. So in this case, before we do the examples, we're going to look at something such as Y is equal to -1 over 3X plus 4. I'm going to do that all the way. I'll do it on this side. Oops. I like this program better. It makes my writing neater.
Really?
Yep. So for my Y-intercept, what am I going to do to find my Y-intercept? What do I have to set X equal to? Sean?
Like to figure figure out why.
Yeah, what do I have to set x equal to? If I want to find my y-intercept.
I think we have to get set to like 0.
You just plug in 0 for x, and that's it. So I'm going to get y is equal to negative 1 over 3 times 0 plus 4. Anything times 0 is what? 0. So I get 0 plus 4, which means my y-intercept is going to be 4. Therefore, my y-intercept is 0, comma 4. Yeah. So David, if I want to find my x-intercept, what do I need to set equal to 0? So for my y-intercept, if I set x equal to 0, if I want to find my x-intercept, which one do I have to set equal to 0? So let me reword. So when I want to find my y-intercept, I have to put 0 for x. Okay. If I want to find my x-intercept, what number do you think I'm going to put in for y?
Oh, 0.
0. So I'm going to get 0 is equal to negative 1 over 3x plus 4. Now we're doing some algebra. So I need x by itself. So Kareem, what do you want to move over?
So you move the negative 3. I mean, my bad. You move the negative 3. I'm not. You move the 5.
There's no 5.
I use it.
Are you?
Four.
No, we're doing this, man. We're here.
4. Oh, wait, you thought? I thought. I didn't see that. Sorry, I didn't see that. That's a 0.
Yep.
You move the 4.
Okay, sure. So I'm going to get negative 4
Negative 4.
is equal to negative 1 over 3x. How do I get rid of what's in front of the x?
You subtract.
Starts with an R.
So
So,
switch 3.
Reciprocal. Easy. Reciprocal.
so if I have my original fractions as negative 1 over 3, what is the reciprocal of that?
3 over 1.
Positive or negative?
Sorry, negative 3 over 1.
Yeah. So that means I have to multiply both sides by negative 3 over 1. Okay? So when I multiply a fraction by its reciprocal, what do I always get as my answer?
1?
1. Thank you, Matthew. You always got 1. So which is why you're just going to be left with x on the right side, and you're going to have negative 4 times negative 3 over 1. And what does that give me? Negative 4 times negative 3 over 1. Yazin? Positive 12. So therefore, my x-intercept is 12, comma 0.
Hello?
They're just copying the example down, so give me 2 minutes.
Okay.
So the next one I have is y is equal to 9x minus 6. Which one do you guys want to find first, the x-intercept or the y-intercept?
The Y.
Hey, what? Why was that so quick?
Okay,
That's the.
what do you guys, the x-intercept? So let's find the x-intercept first. So when I have my x-intercept, what do I need to set to 0? My y. So 0 is equal to 9x minus 6. Kareem, what do you want to move over to leave x by itself? The negative 6. So it becomes positive 6 is equal to 9x. Sean, how do I get x by itself?
You have to put 9 to the other side.
By doing what operation?
Division.
Divide both sides by 9. So I got x on my right side. And can I simplify 6 over 9?
Yeah.
What does it become?
2 over 3.
Yep, so I'm going to divide both by 3. So therefore, my x-intercept is 2 over 3, comma 0. The y-intercept is pretty easy. So is this guy in y is equal to mx plus b? Yes or no? Is y equal to 9x minus 6? Is that in the form y is equal to mx plus b? Yes.
Yep.
So you technically don't have to really do any math to find the y-intercept because the y-intercept is always going to be the last number when it's in y is equal to mx plus b. So based off the equation, what is my y-intercept then? So 0, comma, negative 6. You can only do this when it's in y is equal to mx plus b. You can't do it for the next one. So the b part of my y is equal to mx plus b is known as the y-intercept as well. Okay, Adam, for the next one, 2x plus 3y is equal to negative 4. Which one do you want to find first, x or y? Okay, you want to find the y-intercept?
Yeah.
So what do I need to set equal to 0? Hmm? Sure. So to find my y-intercept, what do I have to sub in for 0? X. So I'm going to plug in 0 for x. So I'm going to get 2 times 0 is equal to 3 plus 3y, sorry. Whoops. Plus 3y is equal to negative 4. I know that anything multiplied by 0 is just 0. So I'm left with 3y is equal to negative 4. How do I get rid of that 3 in front of the y? Kareem. Divide by what?
So you divide the 3 with the 3,
Yeah.
and then you divide the 4 with the 3.
Mm-hmm. So I get y is equal to negative 4 over 3, which means my y-intercept is 0, comma, negative 4 over 3. So next is going to be my x-intercept. How do I figure that one out? Kareem.
You basically substitute the y with 0.
Yep. So I'm going to get 2x plus 3 times 0 is equal to negative 4. So I'm left with 2x is equal to negative 4. So what do I do next? Austin,
Move the X over.
which one?
Move the 2 over.
How do I get rid of the 2?
5
Yep.
by 2.
So what's negative 4 divided by 2? Anyone? Claire? Negative 2. Therefore, the x-intercept is negative 2 and 0. So you guys are going to do C on your own, okay? And you're going to figure that one out on your own for C, which is pretty easy because it's already in y is equal to mx plus b. So you have your y-intercept already. You just got to find the x. So it'll take like 2 minutes to do C. Anyways, so what is my y-intercept for C, Gian? No, y-intercept.
Wait, why? Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, 0, comma 5. Remember, if it's in y is equal to mx plus b, it's the last number. What is my x-intercept? Gian, again. Pardon? Yep. So set y equal to 0. You can move the negative 3x over, so it becomes 3x is equal to 5. And then x is equal to 5 over 3.
So this is all that's gonna be on the quiz?
And the lesson for tomorrow. There's one more. Perpendicular lines and parallel lines. Okay, so finish copying this down.
I asked him.
Okay, so the next one, guys. So last part, and that's it. So we've seen some of our equations in y is equal to mx plus b, but when we have it in something in this form where all the variables are to one side, that is called standard form. So that's basically not y is equal to mx plus b. So in standard form, it is easier to find your x and y intercepts because sometimes you're not working with fractions or multiplying with reciprocals. So it's easier to find your x and your y intercept using standard form. The only thing that y equals mx plus b is easy to find is the y intercept. Other than that, you might be working with a fraction with your x intercept. So to find our y-intercept, we're going to set x equal to 0. So wherever we see x, I'm going to plug in 0. So 3 times 0 plus 4y is equal to 6. 4y is equal to 6. Claire, how do I get rid of that 4 in front of the y?
You gotta divide the 4 by 4.
Yep.
And then the 6 over 4.
So what does 6 over 4 simplify into?
3 over
Yep.
1.
Nope. 3 over
2.
2. Divide both by 2. So my y-intercept is 0, comma 3 over 2. So my x-intercept, just set y equal to 0. So I'm going to get 3x plus 4 times 0 is equal to 6. So I get 3x is equal to 6. Sean, how do I solve for x?
Pretty sure you already have these.
I don't have it.
Oh,
Just-
I think you divide.
By?
Like, divide by 3.
3.
6.
Yep, 3. So I get x is equal to 2, which means my x-intercept is 2, comma 0. Now the last thing I'm going to do for this question is I'm going to have you change it from standard form into y is equal to mx plus b. So I'll give you a chance to copy this down before I go any further.
know what I'm saying?
Like you need to simplify the group.
So yeah.
You can't simplify negative 3 over 4 because they don't have anything in common. Yeah, because 6 and 4 have something in common. So I just realized I was on mute. So when we're going from standard form to y is equal to mx plus b, I have to isolate for the y. So that's why I kept the 4y on the left side and I moved everything over to the right. And in order to figure out how to isolate, I divided everything by 4. So I was left with y is equal to negative 3 over 4x. And because we had 6 over 4, I was able to simplify that into 3 over 2 because you can divide each of these by 2. So now you guys can try B and C on your own. I'll come around and check it. And then after that, you are going to work on the worksheet